Good evening, everybody. I'm Ashmita, and today we are going to discuss current affairs from direct source, that is, Press Information Bureau. We will also check on GK Today and also test rankings, current affairs. Again, there are many ways I can go talk about current affairs from various websites, but let's keep it limited because information is infinite. Let's try to decrease the randomness of the sources, and most probably I will start with Hindu as well after a few days. Once I get used to my timings, I might also start discussing Hindu newspaper, and that will be good for preparation for UPSC students. And I will also want to cover lots of static factual informations, not static factual, like facts, like proper facts that are usually asked in exams like SSC, SBI, etc. So we'll cover that also. Okay, so without any further ado, let's begin. So President of India graces International Sickle Cell Day commemoration at Omkareshwar, Madhya Pradesh. Okay, let's see. So this is our Honorable President of India, Srimati Draupadi Murmu. So has graced International Sickle Cell Day commemoration, which is today. June 19th is the International Sickle Cell Day commemoration. Today is also Autism Pride Day. So yeah, you'll have to remember these if you're writing upcoming exams. So these random questions are asked. If you remember, very good. If you don't, it's okay, because it will be one question. You can just, if you keep on reading these days and they may come or may not come, it becomes difficult to keep track of all the days. So if you remember, very good. And this one particularly, since it is commemorated by the President of India, this becomes important. And we know Yoga Day as well. Yoga Day is celebrated with a lot of pomp and gaiety in India, so we have to know that as well. June 21st, and then we must know World Environment Day, that is June 5th, and there are many other days we will see. Okay, so I hope you guys know what sickle cell anemia is. If not, we will discuss it. I have prepared my notes. So yes, you can see. Oh, why isn't it zooming in? Zoom in. Oh no. Yeah, it's zoomed in. Yes. International Sickle Cell Day, that is 19th June, to highlight the National Sickle Cell Anemia Elimination Mission. So anemia is actually very high in India, not sickle cell anemia. I'm just talking about anemia. So anemia is different, sickle cell anemia is different. Anemia is low blood, low hemoglobin, low blood carrying capacity. Sickle cell is the shape. For example, this is the shape. See, this is the shape of your RBC from side angle. RBC is red blood cell. Red blood cell carries oxygen through the help of hemoglobin, and then this becomes sickle celled. So the shape becomes like a sickle. This is a sickle shape, like a crescent moon. This is a sickle actually, if you guys know. So this becomes sickle shaped, and because of the change in shape from this dumbbellish to this sickle, the carrying capacity, the oxygen carrying capacity of hemoglobin decreases. This causes sickle cell anemia. So we'll see. It is hereditary, so you're required to know what it is. It is hereditary genetic blood disorder caused by mutation in hemoglobin gene. Sometimes they can ask you the gene number also. Gene number. I do not know the gene number. You'll have to Google it. Okay. So the red blood cells become sickle shaped or crescent shaped, as I showed you here. Instead of normal disc shape. So disc shape, actually, if you see it from above, it's like this. If you see it from side, RBC is like this. So, and from above it is round, and if it becomes like this, if you're seeing from above and the shape becomes like crescent, that is 50% is gone, you can see. So obviously oxygen carrying capacity also decreases. Okay, so these abnormal cells break down prematurely, block blood vessels, reduce oxygen supply. Inheritance, it is autosomal recessive disorder. Autosomal recessive disorder. So recessive is a type of gene. It is called in gene expression, you're knowing it. There's something called gene expression. Please remember this as of now, because if I go on explaining what is autosome, what is allosome, what is recessive gene, what is dominant gene, what is a disorder, it's going to take a lot of time. So just remember as it is now. Autosomal recessive disorder is all you're required to know. There are two types of genes actually. There are two types of cells. There are genes, autosome and allosome. Autosome are the first 22 chromosomes. Allosomes are the 23rd chromosome. I hope you guys know. Humans have 23 chromosomes, of which 23rd chromosome is the sex determining, X or Y determining chromosome. So if it is determining, it's called allosome. If it is not, it's called autosome. So this is not a sex determined disorder. There are certain disorders that are received only from male to male or female to female. It happens. I can't remember the examples, but I hope you understood the difference between autosome and allosome here. So burden in India, it is again, India is one of the largest. This part, this above part, whatever it is, whatever we have read about. Okay, let me just clear it off. It is so messy. So whatever we have learned about sickle cell anemia is for prelims, and the next part is for mains. So when I say something is for prelims, it also means that it is important for other exams. Other exams that usually function on MCQ style, like as I said, SSC. All of this comes under GK, general knowledge. So GK, prelims, other MCQ based competitive exams. This is important. So now we'll talk about why this is a problem. When we talk about why this is a problem, it is mostly mains oriented. Mains UPSC, I mean. So the burden in India. India has one of the largest populations affected by SCD. Highly prevalent in tribal communities, STs. High burden states, you can see Madhya Pradesh, Maharashtra, Chhattisgarh, Odisha, Gujarat. So you might have to write, if the question comes, you might have to write Madhya Pradesh and Maharashtra and Chhattisgarh. You can just guess also, as it is in central and western India. If you can write just central and western India, that is also enough. So India launched a program called the Elimination Mission for sickle cell anemia. This is done nationally. So it was announced in the budget 2022-2023. Now this is also GK. Launched by PM Modi in July 2023. What is the vision? By 2047, we have to eliminate sickle cell anemia. It might be very difficult because this is a non-communicable disease. This is an NCD and this is genetic. So if you want to eliminate sickle cell anemia, sickle cell disease, you have to maybe go for gene therapy. What is gene therapy? If you are a UPSC student, you might know it. If not, we'll have to discuss it again in some other event. But again, as I said, this is a current affairs class. If I go on discussing every word, it will be impossible to finish the class. So let's continue. Okay, so objectives, again, if you're writing the answer, you'll have to know these words. Universal screening. Screening, what is universal screening? You have to go there and screen everybody. You have to test everyone. So when it is done for everybody, it's called universal. So we are doing early diagnosis. Obviously, if you're screening them, you're indirectly diagnosing them as well. Genetic counseling, like you teach them that this is a genetic disorder. Creation of national database, again this is important. If you create a database of people who have this disease, you can warn them that their child can have sickle cell anemia. Then we can go for gene therapy maybe and make sure that their child doesn't get it. We can silence, we can suppress the gene. Again, for awareness and reduction in mortality and morbidity. Target group, we have 0 to 40 years, because after 40 people mostly don't have children, so that is the point. Key components, again, mass screening, sickle cell cards, they are issuing health cards, genetic counseling, treatment, same thing, awareness campaign through ASHA workers, ANMs, local health workers, etc. You'll have to know what is ASHA, you'll have to know what is ANM, what is ASHA. So I'm telling this so that you can Google and make notes, because I can't do it. As I said, if I keep explaining every word, it'll take days to finish just one class. So if you have time, you can study about who is ASHA, what is ASHA worker, and what is ANM worker. So why the mission is significant? Again, this is means related, because health is important, man, and social significance, economic significance, governance significance. This is actually a badly formed presentation, because when you're talking about health significance, you can give a lot of stats. You have to give examples. Give 2 examples for each. This is just generic answer. You don't have to write like this. When you're writing health significance, give an example. When you're writing social significance, give an example. Economic significance, give an example. Governance significance, give an example. So if health is good, automatically the social nature of the country will be better. When socially people are good, economy will improve, because people can work jobs, they won't be sick, sickness will decrease, so more productivity in terms of economics. And then governance also, they don't have to stress upon health stress will decrease, so all these things can help. None of these, yeah, again you can use these in your answers. You can mention article 21, article 47, SDGs, sustainable development goals, good health, reduction in inequalities. You can mention all of these. Again, if you're writing challenges also, you're required to give examples for everything. That is all. See, again, we are also doing value addition. Early detection, awareness, and genetic counseling are 3 pillars of sickle cell anemia. This also you can use in your exam. Okay, we are done with this news. Done. We'll go for next one. So what's the next one? Okay, this is the website. Okay, India and Republic of Korea share civilization ties, go back. Oh, okay, we're not going to touch that, it's just boring. Just because Lok Sabha speaker talked about it, if UPSC asks a question on this, man, then that is just absurd. We can't help it anymore. So English rendering of Pradhan Mantri Vikas Viksit. Okay, so this is something I wanted to discuss. Pradhan Mantri Viksit Bharat Rozgar Yojana. So I wanted to discuss about this. Okay, we don't have the information here. It's a lot of speech. Okay, it's an extremely lengthy speech. Mitro, lots of mitros. Okay, I'll just tell you the notes of what is Pradhan Mantri Viksit Bharat Rozgar Yojana. Why is it in the news? Because on 19 June, I think it was yesterday, not 19, I think it was 18th only. Okay, you don't have to remember the date. Anyway, Prime Minister Narendra Modi disbursed about 2,400 crores as incentives under PM Viksit Bharat Rozgar Yojana. So Rozgar is employment. So something related to employment is happening. Okay, so how many people here? 15 lakh first time employees and employers through direct benefit transfer. So what exactly happened and who's the minister? The ministry is Ministry of Labor and Employment. Implementing agencies EPFO, extremely important. You must know what EPFO is. EPFO, very, very, very important. Cabinet approval 2025. So this was launched last year only and it has been implemented again in 2026. So almost 1 lakh crore of budget. So target is to create 3.5 crore formal jobs. This is a central sector scheme. So I hope you guys know the difference between central sector scheme and centrally sponsored scheme. Okay, centrally sponsored scheme. Central sector 100% by 100% funding by the central government. Centrally sponsored is shared between the states and center. That is all. So what is this? This is employment linked incentive. Okay, so we have production linked incentive as well. Now we also have employment linked incentive. Let's see what it is. The main objectives are to promote formal employment, increase EPFO covered jobs, move workers from informal to formal, support first time employers, incentivize employers, achieve Bharat 2047. So what is the structure of the scheme? You have to understand the scheme, right? Like what is happening exactly. So let's see the first part. First time employees who are eligible. A person must be entering formal employment for the first time, registered with EPFO, earn a salary up to 1 lakh. So it's still less than 1 lakh and continue employment. So what are the benefits they are getting? So they get 1 month's wage support and a maximum benefit of 15,000 rupees. So this money is given in first installment and then second installment. Next, we also have other eligible employers. All sectors covered by EPFO can participate. So all sectors is important. Covered by EPFO, that is important. So again we have some stats. If you remember, very good. This might be a question actually. Duration of employment incentive for manufacturing is 4 years and for other sectors it's 2 years. So manufacturing is important. So conditions for employers are also there. Small establishment, large establishment, additional condition. So how is the money dispersed? DBF, DBT, Aadhaar linked banks, ABPS, all of this is important. You have to know this, you have to know this, you have to know this separately. Transfer to PAN linked. You have to know what is a PAN also. How to avail? Employee. No separate government application required. You literally just join the job. Employer registers you. You get a UAN number, which is a EPFO. It's like the identity number for EPFO. Complete 6 month service. Receive first time employment. Complete financial literacy course. Complete 12 month service. Receive second installment. So this is giving financial support. That is all. These are important points. This is prelims related points. And all of this is just other information. So the eventual point of this scheme is that the employee is benefited, the employer is benefited. So if you are an employee, you are joining for the first time, you get 15,000 benefit in installment. And then if you are an employer and if you hire a new employee, you get 3,000 per person per additional employee. 3,000 per month per additional employee. So what is the point? Why are they doing this? So the problem is that employers hesitate to hire people. So they think that the cost of hiring a new person is higher than, just retaining the people or not hiring someone. So to overcome this kind of problem, so that the unemployment rate in India decreases, this scheme has been brought in. So that is the main point. So as I told you, this is an employment linked incentive. So we already have something called the product linked incentive. That is, if there is a tube light company and the government tells them, you increase your manufacturing of tube lights and we will give you money for that. So they are getting an incentive for increased production. So this encourages them to increase the production. In the same way, the employers who are hiring employees, when they increase the process of hiring, when they hire more people, when they make more people employed, they get incentives for the same purpose. So this is about the scheme PM Viksit Bharat Rozgar Yojana. Rozgar means employment, so you can remember it that way. Next, what do we have? Prime Minister highlights growing global engagement and investment. We don't need that. PM visit West Bengal. We don't need. We'll see after the visit if there is any significant inauguration of any railway or roadway. Then PM visits Odisha. Again, same thing. Sanskrit Shubhashitam. Almost every day PM Modi is sharing a Subhashitam. Next, Ayush Ministry. What did they do? Most probably something related to yoga. Yes. We will talk about yoga after the International Yoga Day is done, because everybody is doing something. So if you keep remembering what every city did what, it is just pointless. Next, Prime Minister to lay foundation stone of India's first commercial scale coal to ammonium nitrate project in Odisha. This is important. So let us see. Prime Minister to lay foundation stone. Where is that? Okay, yeah, I told you, right? Because Modi is visiting Odisha, and I told you if there is some important inauguration happening, that's when we will discuss. So we can clearly see there is an important inauguration happening of foundation stone is being laid of coal to ammonium nitrate project. So we will see. Not read this. I have my own notes. Where's my pen? Let me grab my pen. Okay. Zoom in, bro. Bro, zoom in. Zoom in. Oh, this bro is not zooming in. Oh no, why isn't it zooming in, guys? Okay, yeah, it has. Okay, so coal gasification and Lakhanpur project. So this is happening at Lakhanpur. Jharsuguda. Important. Lakhanpur, Jharsuguda, important star. What is this project? It is coal to ammonium nitrate. We will see what that is. Who is laying the foundation? Narendra Modi. Project cost 25k crores. Developer Bharat Coal Gasification and Chemical Limited. BHEL plus Coal India Limited. CEL's together collaboration is Bharat Coal Gasification Chemical Limited. Important, very, very important. You have to remember that. So what is it? BHEL, CIL together forming BCGCL at Lakhanpur. What is it? Coal to ammonium nitrate. Output 2000 tons per day. You don't need all of that. You have to know what is coal gasification. That is important. So I'll tell you. So coal gasification converts coal into syngas or synthetic gas, which can be used for manufacturing methanol, urea, ammonium nitrate, synthetic natural gas, and other chemical feedstock. Blah blah blah, coal gasification project, blah blah blah. You don't need all of that. So I'll tell you what is the process. I'll tell you. What's the process? So you can see. Yes, I asked ChatGPT because who is more reliable than ChatGPT? Again, people might tell you things. Other teachers, they act like they haven't used ChatGPT or other AI tools, but everybody is using AI tools. And if you ask the right question, if you give the prompt correctly, nothing is better than an AI tool like ChatGPT or Gemini or Claude. Again, Grok is mostly not working these days. It is always having heavy duty issues. Anyway, let's see. Coal ammonium. So how coal is getting converted into ammonia? Coal gasification. Coal is mainly carbon, C. So it is getting gasified. So to make carbon as gas, you have to add a gas to it, that is an oxygen. So CH2O, C plus H2O gives rise to CO plus H2. So carbon plus steam gives carbon monoxide. This is called syngas. So you have to know what is syngas. Syngas is carbon monoxide. Water gas shift reaction. So there is a shift reaction again. We are adding more water. So from gas it is going to become a liquid most probably. So yeah, so adding more oxygen, it becomes carbon dioxide. Next we do something called the Haber's process. Very important, Haber's process. You must have learned it in your school as well. So N2 plus 3H2 gives rise to 2NH3, that is ammonia. Next we produce the nitric acid. Okay. So you can see what is exactly happening in this plant. The hydrogen that we have obtained from syngas. So syngas is separately being used for other things, as we have discussed here. So syngas is being used for methanol, urea, ammonium nitrate. So the CO that comes is used to make urea, is used to make methanol, and the H2 that comes from this entire process is being used to make ammonia. So we are using the H2 from here and adding it in the ammonium process called the Haber-Bosch process, and then we get ammonia, and then we add oxygen to it, and there are other various steps, and finally you get ammonium nitrate. So you have to know what is ammonium nitrate. It is nitric acid plus ammonia, which gives ammonium nitrate, NH4NO3. Very important. So if you know that, if you know the process, very good. I hope they don't ask this, because since this question is from the early year, this is literally June, so there is a lot of information that is going to come within this year. Because of that reason, this kind of news, it's not very important, but again, you never know what UPSC can do. So yeah, that is all. So we'll see what these things are used for. As I told you, methanol is used in chemicals and fuel blending. Urea, you should know the formula. Methanol, you should know the formula. Ammonia, you must know the formula, NH3. This is CO, NH2, CO, I think. I'm not sure. I'll just erase it off, man. I don't want to be wrong. Ammonium nitrate, we just learned, NH4NO3. NH4NO3? Oh, see, I forgot. Yes, correct. Syngas and hydrogen H2, these are the things they are being used for. So why are we doing this? Why is coal gasification important? We need energy. India is second largest coal producer, second largest coal consumer, fifth largest coal reserves. So instead of importing gas, we can use our own coal to make energy. But again, environmental constraints. How much of coal you will mine? And also there is a scam recently, Singareni coal mines scam of 4,000 crores. It's currently in the news. This is happening in Telangana. So if these kind of scams happen, I don't think we can make much use of, we can have any energy security. Next, import substitution. See, again, if you have energy security, automatically you don't have to import from abroad countries, especially during the times where global politics is very uncertain. Uncertainty is very high. You don't know when Trump is going to bomb Iran or India. You never know, because he's just a mad dude. So you have to be careful. Again, adds value, industrial development. What are the other various initiatives? Surface coal gasification, lignite gasification. You don't need all of that. The same thing. BCGCL, I told you, same thing. So why ammonia is important again? We talked about why syngas is important. Now we'll see why ammonium nitrate is important. It's used in fertilizers, in mining sector, in infrastructure sector, and defense sector. Chemical input. It is important chemical. That is all. I think we are done with that. As I told you, environment concerns we have, economic concerns, sustainability concerns, carbon capture, utilization, storage, very very important. You have to know joint JCM was signed with Japan recently. Joint cooperation mechanism, joint carbon mechanism with Japan, important. You have to study Article 6.2 of Paris Agreement, important guys. So that is all. Next we have one more. We'll go for the next news. It's very simple news actually. Next news is very simple. Okay, before we I'm leaving this. Next, Jharkhand's largest ever mega eye surgical camp. So there is something called Operation Drishti. I think it's conducted by the military. Yes, Indian Army and Indian Air Force are conducting this. So Operation Drishti conducted in Jharkhand to provide eye surgery. Who is doing this? Indian Army and Indian Air Force. So Indian Army and Indian Air Force have their own medical doctors, medical officers. So they have launched this camp and they are doing this for people. So I think it's mostly in remote area. I think it's mostly in remote area where people, don't have access. So that is the reason. Ministry of Defense inks 425 crore marine gas turbine generator. So it's a gas turbine generator, means it'll just produce electricity, I believe. Next, Indian Navy is set to commission 3 indigenous naval platforms in Kolkata. This is important, guys. So Indian Navy is commissioning 3 indigenously built frontline platforms called the Dunagiri, Shanshodak and Agre in Kolkata. Very 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 important. Designed by Indian Navy's Warship Design Bureau, very very important, and constructed by Garden Reach Shipbuilder and Engineers, Kolkata. See, even PIB website has decided to highlight these words, so you have to realize how important they are. So what are these? These are platforms. So Dunagiri. So what exactly is a naval platform? So for us we have floor or base, but for navy there is basically no land because they are on ocean. They need a place to conduct their operations, and because the ship or the vessel acts like the land for them, it is called a platform. So they are basically talking about a ship. So we are going to talk about ships. So what are these ships? Indian Navy set to commission 3 indigenous naval platforms or 3 ships. The names are Donagiri, Sanshodak and Agre. And what are these? Donagiri is the fifth project 17A stealth frigate. So stealth was a very controversial question in the UPSC 2026. So stealth is something that you can't easily find them. They hide. Stealth means they hide through the virtue of their speed and size, the tactics. So what does Dunagiri have? This is a stealth frigate. It includes BrahMos as well. So it includes BrahMos. Dunagiri has BrahMos, very very important. Next we have Sanshodak. Sanshodhana means survey. So this is the 4th survey vessel. So it goes on surveying. It just searches the ocean, underwater and deep water, nothing much. Agre. So what is Agre? It's the 4th of the Arnala class anti-submarine warship shallow water craft. So this comes in your shallow water and it is anti-submarine. What does it mean? It detects the submarines. So they have torpedoes as well. So torpedoes are like missiles underwater. So it launches missiles underwater to attack submarines because submarines are underwater, and it mostly disintegrates or kills the people and destroys the machine. The indigenous content is exceeding 75%. That is all. So this is very 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 important news. We'll go for the next one. Next, I'm not going here. I'm not going here. We discussed this yesterday. We're not going to this one. IIT MOU Aryabhatta Research, establishing a long-term monitoring station of Bharat Climate Observation Network. Okay, you just have to know what is Bharat Climate Observation Network, and this might be a question. Just know the fact, what is ARIES, Aryabhatta Research Institute of Observational Sciences, and who is signing the MOU? It is IITM. Why aren't they not mentioning what is IITM? It is Indian Institute of Tropical Meteorology. It is not. This is actually the question that was asked in UPSC. They asked Bharat Forecast System, and IITM Pune was the institute, and I remembered it as IITM, just IIT Madras. So it is not IIT Madras, it is a different thing. I remembered it as some IIT, and in the question it was IIT Delhi, and I thought, yeah, it must be Delhi, and I put the answer, and it was wrong. But I even remembered the precise survey area of it. It was increased from 6 square kilometer to 12 square kilometers. So I even remembered that, but I couldn't remember the institute. So you might know everything about something, but again, you might miss something so trivial about a fact, about a news, and that might cost you. Anyway, this is IITM. That is why they are not mentioning it as IIT Madras. It is IITM, Tropical Meteorology, signed MOU with ARIES. That is all. For what? For, again, climate. Bharat Climate Observation Network over Himalayas. That is all. Nixie we discussed already. TB Mukt Bharat we can discuss some other time. Something fingerprint might be important. They might ask you where it was conducted, New Delhi. So if you don't know something, and if New Delhi is in the option, you can try it. But sometimes they specifically ask you things that haven't happened in New Delhi. So if you remember, put it. If you don't remember, maybe don't guess it. It might go wrong. Not touching this, not touching this, not touching any of this. We've discussed this. BRICS nations call for stronger MSME. So we are going to have inaugural BRICS MSME. Oh, this happened. We talked about this yesterday. Union MSME Minister Jitan Ram Manjhi calls for collective action for future MSME across BRICS nations. So where is this happening? Government of India successfully inaugurated in Agra. So this is important. This has happened at Agra. We will see the final outcome of this meeting. So we'll not go here. That is all, I guess. Everything else is just astronomers find clues to the origin of energetic cosmic X-ray flashes. Okay, let's see. Astronomers have traced the mechanism behind mysterious celestial non-repeating flash of X-ray called the fast X-ray transients that was detected. What is it? What is the mechanism? Linked to collapse of a massive star, or oh my god, they just find something and they tell that it is because a massive star has died. So I think maybe you can guess that if they ask you something next time. What is FXT? It is a fast X-ray transient, and how does it form? From collapse of a massive star. That is all. UPSC expands administrative infrastructure. Okay, they have time for all of that. Good. Naxal free India. So I think India has announced that India is Naxal free right now, but I don't think so. Like, you just can't say like there are Naxalites. Okay. We'll see in GK today. Indian jurist Bimal Patel elected to ITLOS. What is this? International Tribunal of Law of Sea. Okay, that is nice. I think it is with UNCLOS. Yes, it is related to UNCLOS. It's an independent judiciary body established under UNCLOS. Oh, I forgot the full form of it. Did they mention it? UN Law of Sea, United Nations Convention of Law of Sea is what it's supposed to be. So this is important. The seat of ILTOS is in Hamburg, Germany. So this is important, guys. They take care of the sea loss, and since seas are in news majorly because of Strait of Hormuz and all the shipping wars that's happening, and an Indian jurist at this point of time at International Tribunal for Law of Seas, it's important, it's significant actually. Next, UAE launches first retail tea sukuk program. So this is actually an instrument. This is an investment instrument, I think. It's an Islamic financial instrument, financial certificate. So represents the ownership in an underlying asset, project or investment. So the UAE retail tea sukuk is issued by the government of UAE. Instrument is denoted in dirhams. So you don't need all of that. Just know that this is a sovereign retail tea sukuk from UAE. You don't go deeper. If you want to go deeper, you can ask me, I will tell later. But as of now, no. Okay, we don't need Supreme Court ka. Amravati Quantum Valley achieves 4 Kelvin cooling milestone. Okay, what is that? Amravati Quantum Valley is in here. It's in Meda Towers, Amravati. Which Amravati is this? Is this Andhra Pradesh ka Amravati? Yes, it is Andhra Pradesh ka Amravati. Okay, AQV achieved 4 Kelvin or minus 269 degrees centigrade cooling. So I think this is important because the cooler is the temperature, it is better for the quantum physics to function, I guess. So okay, they have reached it, very good. Let's appreciate. Next, Supreme Court declared footpath walking as a fundamental right. This is extremely important. This is a direct UPSC question. So footpath walking is a fundamental right. Next, Jonathan becomes world's oldest land animal. So this is 194-year-old tortoise. It's not a turtle, it's a tortoise, land animal. So on land is called tortoise. If it goes in the ocean, it's called a turtle. So the name of Jonathan is Aldabrachalis gigante hololissa. So this hololissa has arrived on Saint Helena in 1882. Oh my god, it was 50 years old back then. It is almost 200 years old. Oh my god, I just realized that it's 200 years old. My god, maybe it was born in around 18, even before Civil War, even before Indian independence movement, even before Bahadur Zafar II died. Oh my god, that is news. So India declares Naxalism effectively ended. I don't agree with that, but okay, it is a news. BSc Index Services, what did they do? They launched something called the Satvik 100 Index. What is this? First Satvik Index, 100 companies selected from the broader BSc on the basis of defined Satvik principles. What is the Satvik principle? Has a base value of 1000. I don't know. What is the Satvik principle, guys? Okay, there is something called a Satvik Index. We will talk about it tomorrow. Okay. Next, what do we have? Okay, not this. I was going to open this. NSC, what is this? Let's see what is. NSC has been reconstituted. National Statistical Commission has been reconstituted. Okay, this is important, guys. Okay, we don't know. We don't have to know who are there. You just have to know what is National Statistic Commission. That is all. Oh, this is my test. Okay. Okay, where is my current affairs? Okay. Odisha clears investment proposal for land grown diamond sector. Okay. Autism Pride Day, as I told you. Okay, US and Iran actually signed a deal. Trump signed a deal. A new Treaty of Versailles. It's historic to reopen the Strait of Hormuz. Center approves 22 crore project. Okay, that is not necessary. You just have to know what is National Green Hydrogen Mission. That is the static part. By heart it. Yoga Park portal we already discussed, I guess. Smriti Mandhana becomes the only Indian in Time 100 most influential people. Absolutely amazing, Smriti Mandhana. Tripura's traditional instrument Sarinda gets GI tag. Okay, this is important. Sarinda GI tag. So these are asked in other competitive exams other than UPSC. UPSC has stopped asking these, and even if they ask, we most probably won't be able to answer because there are thousands of GI products. What else? What we will remember? So we'll see Tripura's traditional instrument Sarinda. We'll see what is Sarinda. Sarinda instrument. Oh, looks wonderful. What a beautiful instrument. Absolutely beautiful. Okay, that is nice. Anyway, so I'll conclude our today's class here. Thank you for being here, guys. Have a good day. Bye bye.